receivers, and that seems to be a work in progress while it is improving. There is a certain star receiver that remains available, and his name is Odell Beckham Jr. So watching that game on Sunday, OBJ tweeted, AR is too fire. Honestly, bro makes it look effortless. And then a reporter at SNY named Chris Williamson tweeted at OBJ, a lot of damage could be done with you and Rodgers. And Beckham responded, who you tellin'? That's a different breed right there. So he sounds into it. Here's Aaron Rodgers with McAfee yesterday.
Odell and I have been friends for a number of years now, and so we keep in contact, often. We talked at various times over the years, and obviously with a player like that, you're always hoping that there's a time where you can figure things out and play together. But he's a special talent. Most important thing is him getting healthy, and then I'm sure he'll have a kind of his pick of competitive playoff teams who are looking at a stud like that to their roster.
So they're into each other. I mean, both of them, their Facebook status is available/looking.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. What do we think?
Here's my question. Was Aaron Rodgers not in Green Bay last year?
Mm-hmm.
Was he not still that dude
in
Green Bay? Did the Packers not also want Odell? Did Odell decide to go to the Packers? No, he did not. You know why? Because it's cold. Why would Odell Beckham? He's literally like the prettiest girl in school who knows homecoming is coming up and all the cute guys want to take her to homecoming. Why is the Packers are literally the first team that's like, hey, Aaron comes up like, hey, want to take you out. He's like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'd look nice together, but you know that there are going to be other suitors coming down the hallway. I just think he had a chance to go to Green Bay with Devontae Adams. It didn't work. I think if I'm him, I want to go to the Chiefs, but that's a separate story.
You know what my life experience has been? That the prettiest girl wants to go with the quarterback. And Aaron is the quarterback. And we all watch the Rams. No disrespect to Matt Stafford, but we watch the Rams play on Monday night. They don't look the same. Now, maybe he would make that difference. But I don't know. I mean, Aaron Rodgers might make it seem a lot warmer at Lambeau Field. What do you think?
No, I think the Rams are the place to be. I mean, if you think about this offense the Rams are running with Matt Stafford and everything going to Kupp, and they try to bring in Allen Robinson, and so far they haven't gotten him involved. OBJ understands he wants touches and he wants to be a difference maker. If you go to Green Bay, but they still want to develop these wide receivers. You still have Randall Cobb there, Lazard is there, the two young ones, even Sammy Watkins. There's a lot of places to put the ball. And in LA right now, it seems like there's one place to put the football. So if you know you can go out there and get touches, you're familiar with the offense, again, playing in much better conditions, to Kimberly's point, lifestyle better, I think that's where he ends up.
That's insane. What do you think?
He's had that experience of going to a Midwest team and not fitting into the offense. He went in a big city team in New York and he was balling. He went to Cleveland. We didn't know what was happening. He went out to LA and it started working again. So the point I'm making is not about the location as much as about understanding that it works. He's been somewhere and he knows that it works in LA. I don't know that he wants to take the risk again of going somewhere. You don't know if it's going to completely work out. I know Aaron Rodgers is great, but there's a possibility.
You are such a smart man. How could you say that? The difference between Cleveland and LA was the geography, or was it Baker Mayfield, for crying out loud? He only didn't succeed. The only time he has not been a superstar player was when Baker Mayfield was his quarterback. When last seen, Baker Mayfield was throwing the ball into the chest of defensive guys.
Settle down.
Am I wrong? What have I said that's wrong?
Right, but I'm glad that Jeff said Odell's going to want his targets.
Yes.
Because we saw it work in LA, but what we're watching in LA right now is Cooper Kupp is that guy. Stafford is locked in on him. They run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, and if you are the third guy in there and Cooper's being targeted, you're not going to get a lot of targets. Odell, in the regular season games when he joined LA, he had like 20 catches. Like in 4 games, we saw him pick it up in the postseason, but I just don't know. Like Allen Robinson got there and he disappeared. I don't understand. I don't know how.
Yeah, the point I'm making is not about the geography. It's about the experience of Odell Beckham. He knows what it feels like to go somewhere and for it to not work out. He has now been at one place where it worked out. I would assume that he wants to go back there and continue to build on the kind of change narrative. You think about before Odell went to the Rams, we were talking about him in a much different way. It was like his dad's trying to bring down Baker, and maybe he's not the receiver he was. Maybe he's just one big catch guy. Then he goes to the Rams, and we're like, he's a team leader guy. He may have been the MVP of the Super Bowl. I want to go back there.
Yes.
I want to go back there where people are telling me I'm the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I guess. But look, Matt Stafford's a terrific quarterback. Eli Manning is a terrific quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is better than anyone he's ever played with. And I think he needs him more than the Rams need him. All right, we'll continue talking about this a little bit later because Heather and Paul are ready to go. Now, 3 weeks removed from having surgery on his thumb. Yesterday, Jerry Jones was talking about the status of his quarterback. He is not ruling Dak out for the game against the Rams on Sunday. Here's Jerry.
It's better. He's going to go out there every day and make progress toward being able to grip the ball. Considering the location of the injury, I don't know that you could make any more progress.
Is he able to grip the football now?
No, not well enough to play. We're just starting the week. Let's see how the week goes.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing I love more than weekly medical updates from Jerry Jones on the thumb of Dak Prescott. Here's our insider extraordinaire. What do we know about Dak's thumb and the possibility he's on the field against Aaron Donald and company Sunday?
The man can't grip a football yet. Like Jerry said it, and I think it probably pained Jerry to admit that, but that's the truth. If you can't even grip a football, and did we not see Jimmy Garoppolo staring down Aaron Donald? Like, Aaron Donald is coming his way. Why would you want that for Dak? I think, first of all, physically he's unable to grip football, so that's why him playing is beyond unlikely. But also, when you look at the opponent that you're facing, I just think it's a recipe for disaster.
Look, I mean, if Cooper Rush has done nothing else, and he's done a lot, he has bought time, right? I mean, he has bought the luxury, something we did not think, Dominique, that the Cowboys would have, which is the luxury of time.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are concerned about how much pressure Cooper Rush playing well puts on Dak, but it really takes the pressure off of him to rush back. We should hope so. I don't understand what it must feel like to be a franchise quarterback for a team and see someone else having that success. I'm sure that drives Dak to want to get back even more, but he needs to understand that right now they got a couple wins in the bank, and the most important thing is that he is healthy for the stretch run because they're a better team than we thought, and the NFC is a little bit up in the air outside of Philadelphia right now.
That's right. And yet people aren't buying. I got a bone to pick with you Saturday. And I'm going to show everybody. Yesterday, as I was doing the radio show that I do right after this, someone handed me a copy of the new ESPN.com power rankings. And I'm perusing them. Chiefs over the Eagles. I'm not sure I buy that. I'm looking down. Where the heck are the Cowboys? How about my Cowboys? I mean, I told you after week 1 they weren't dead. Now they win 3 straight games, and our power rankings don't even have them in the top 10. Saturday, what gives?
Yeah, listen, they see Cooper Rush, and they're thinking we're not crowning them until they go beat somebody. Listen, who they beat, and again, you can only play who's on your schedule, but when you beat the Commanders, I mean, those aren't teams that are turning heads quite yet. And so for Cooper Rush, the defense has played lights out. The run game has been much better. Kellen Moore's done a fantastic job, but people aren't buying that if they played the teams ahead of them, they would beat them. And again, I'm one of those guys. Now, I would have them in the top 10, but I would not have them in my top 5 or 6 like a lot of people do for that exact same reason. You still have a backup quarterback starting in Dallas, and that is just facts.
Well, I'm just going over the competition here. So the Cowboys were not impressed with them. The Eagles, I have it here. They beat the 85 Bears. They beat the 27 Yankees.
To be fair, Greeny has a point. Greeny has a point. Greeny has a point. Because when you look at the Eagles' schedule, who have they beaten?
I get it. But they're going to still have an easy schedule. They're undefeated.
I don't want to turn this into an Eagles conversation, but I mean, the Eagles have dominated the teams that they've played. Also, the Cowboys.
They were losing 14-0 to Jacksonville on Sunday.
And then from that point forward, it was quite clear. They caused 4 fumbles that they were the superior team. But I think Dallas, the teams that they've beaten, haven't been very impressive. But the way that they beat them, I think, was kind of impressive. And if we are to assume that Dak's going to come back at some high version of himself, I think that we're projecting some of the power ranking, and I have Dallas in my top 5, and it's because I respect.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I respect the defense enough to know that if they can keep Cooper Rush in these games, he can continue to play well, and I believe that Dak's going to come back healthy.
The power rankings, this is what drives me crazy because I don't think you're not looking at teams equally because I think if you're going to kill the Cowboys for their schedule, you got to kill the Eagles for their schedule. I think obviously the defense for the Cowboys is what keeps them afloat. but when you saw Dak in week 1, he played against Tampa.
Yeah.
Like that, that's an upper echelon team, at least right now. So I understand power rankings. I get why we have them, but this is the problem because we're looking at this team with Cooper Rush.
I mean, comparing them to the Eagles, though, we're saying the top 10. Like the Bengals are in front of them. I think they've had a more impressive start to the season than the Bengals have. Just get them in the top 10.
And the Cowboys are going to add a top 10 quarterback at some point relatively soon to their mix. They're about to get by far the biggest injection of talent that any NFL team is going to get, OBJ or otherwise, and we're going to talk about him a little bit later. They're doing this without their quarterback.
I mean, and the Dolphins are at 5, and they also are without their quarterback right now. So there's some inconsistencies, I think, in this that don't make sense. The Ravens have blown a couple close games. The Eagles.
So the Ravens play the Cowboys tomorrow. Who you pick?
I'm going to the Ravens.
Thank you.
That's the issue. Like, when I go power rankings, and this is what I ask people all the time. Okay, so the people in front, like, let's play them tomorrow. Who wins the game? And if you go Cowboys, I get it. Push them up in your top 5. He did yesterday, and now he's backing away.
I'm not backing away. That's still about